everyone. This is Carmen.
And Moises.
And you listen to YogaBurn. So the title of today's podcast is...
Are we unavoidably walking towards our complete extinction forever?
No.
Yes.
Why do you always make up a title?
That's what we talked about.
No. I want to talk about if the yoga bubble has burst and if it's on the way down. Is yoga on the way down?
No.
So that's
the question. That's the beginning of the conversation.
Yes.
I may go places.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think is yoga is on the way down? Are there less people practicing yoga? And if yes, why? I mean, I'm more interested in the why, if the answer is yes.
Okay, so first thought. The trend people are not walking into a yoga studio right now. So there are people that will like yoga. There are people that would be attracted to yoga.
Yes.
There are people that will actually go seek yoga for a solution to something. Yeah. But there was a time when the system told the trend people that they should try yoga because yoga was going to solve all these problems that they are supposed to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to calm you down. It's going to whatever they are told that they should be working on.
Yeah.
The system told them what to work on. The system told them that yoga could help. So those people walked into a yoga studio. And right now, those people are not walking into a yoga studio. They're doing something else. They're carrying stones in a backpack or whatever the hell, right?
Yeah.
So is it down? We have less tourists. And tourism brought lots of money. People that came in, because we had a studio for a long time, right?
Right.
There was a percentage of the population that would stay for years. We knew that the student had a shelf life.
Right.
And we talked about that so many freaking times.
Right, it's true.
And how much did we think that the shelf life was?
2.5 years.
Exactly, 2-3 years, we thought, right? If somebody comes in, stays less than a year, goes away, tourist, right? They came, they tried. Somebody comes and stays more than 3, that person likes this thing, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe, hopefully, probably, that person is going to try to find ways to improve. Is going to see what the offerings are and say, if I did that, that has a chance of improving in the direction that I'm looking to improve. I'm not saying that everybody should improve the same way, but they will have a plan, a motivation, a wish list of things they want to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that
tourism.
Those that are tourists, as you say, they're not coming into yoga because, I mean, in your mind, those people are easily influenced, and so they're doing just what they're told.
They're elsewhere.
And then they're going somewhere else.
You are saying that Pilates is hot again. Touristy people will go try Pilates now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
But I don't think it's only that. I think
you think it's worse, it's deeper.
No, I mean, I think there's people, there's a trend, there's always a trend, and you have to see where the trend is going, whether that is, I mean, now it's really based on social media, and you can see that where it's going is on social media. Before it was something else, and you kind of sense that what was happening. But definitely the trend is moving towards other activities,
mm-hmm.
and people are doing other things, other sports. If you're doing for sport reason, they doing other things, anything from running, rock climbing, lifting more weights, all kinds of stuff. But I also think there is a little bit of a reputation now that I see that more and more, that yoga doesn't necessarily make you stronger or make you more resilient, or there's more value put now on concepts like that.
Okay.
And not so much on strength.
Okay, so there's a question then. The people came to yoga because they were trying to solve whatever problems. What problems do you think that people are trying to solve now?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm assuming from, because I don't have the pulse on a studio like when I used to have my own studio. I could answer that in the moment, because I love to talk to the students and say why you practice and why you come into practice, and
Mhm.
what is your story, if you don't mind sharing. And so it's different now because I travel to different places in the world, so I'm more detached from that. And that also gives me another perspective, so I see from another point of view, not just from my little universe of my own studio. So just kind of looking on a more macro level. Sorry, what was the question? I didn't even
Problem.
know
What problem are they trying to solve now?
problem. I believe the same kind of problems, like you have a bad image of yourself. You just don't like yourself. You want to accept yourself. You want to accept being in your body. You want to reconcile with your own body, whether that is because you are just hurting it, you're just cutting yourself, you're vomiting like I used to, or you're throwing up on a daily basis. You are, hurting yourself in some way, just mentally, emotionally, physically. I think that very much exists today, and people are resourcing to yoga for that. So that's one way, but people are also trying yoga because they know more or less like what yoga is, so it's just calming you. Everyone wants to be more calm. I mean, if my mother is stressed out and she's retired, she has no obligations,
That is
nothing,
amazing.
and
It's
she's like,
amazing.
every time I call her, it's like,
I had a full day.
I have a full day. Just what do you want to talk about? Because it's just, I really only have like 30 minutes. I'm like, what do you
What?
have to do? Like, really, honestly, what do you have to do? And I'm shocked at that. So everyone has a pile of things to do all day long, and that, I think yoga helps so much with that unpacking, unloading mentally, everything, all the stress that is coming into your life. For the social aspect, I think it's still very social as well. So when you go to the gym, it's more lonely unless you go with somebody, but then you go with your friend, with that person you
Yeah.
know. It's still more social to go to yoga, but maybe you can go, soul cycling, and that is also very social. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, but there is a very big social aspect of the yoga community, which it's overused, that word, in my experience. But it really is like a little family, some place that you go, and you're gonna meet your friends, and you're gonna see people that you see almost every week, and it's a good thing, it's a, I don't know. So that, I
Mhm.
think that aspect is still there. But honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea why someone today would practice yoga. I mean, like, unless, I don't know. If you haven't been influenced by your friend, your mother that practices yoga, or I don't know, or like you've read it in a book, someone has told you, like, why would you come up with that idea? There's just other coping mechanisms, other activities that you could do. I don't know. I honestly don't know. What do you think? What do you think people are?
I mean,
I mean, this is just like completely like
it's
throwing
bullshitting.
darts
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the dark.
I mean,
Like,
because
I don't know, like, why? I don't know.
things that we have today going on.
But we still haven't reached the point that I want to talk about more. But
Do you
yeah,
think that is
please
low? Yeah,
go.
yeah. I mean, sometimes we complain that there's a yoga studio in every corner, or there's so many yoga studios, right? That is a good thing for yoga in itself.
Yeah.
That there are so many doors open, that you can find a studio easily.
Right.
You can go to a yoga studio easily. And another good thing is that it is normal now. It is not a strange thing.
Right.
I mean, maybe the chains did that for us, because before going into a yoga studio, like 20 years ago, it was like, I'm gonna go to see a bunch of weirdos and see what they. You didn't know what you were getting into. You really did not know what you were gonna find behind the door.
Yeah.
And it was an alternative kind of way of seeing the world and speaking about reality, for sure.
Right. It's
And
true.
then, as much of the system came in and took certain things that don't think that has helped much. It has helped in the sense that it has normalized experience. Now going into a yoga studio is the most normal thing in the world.
Right.
And
Yes.
it's like, well, I've tried this thing, I've tried that thing, I've tried my emotional support donkey, did not work. I'm gonna try yoga, right? It's a very normal thing, right? So yoga is now part of the system for good and bad, right? So I think that going back to the theme, the bad aspect of it is that we have tried it enough, and I don't think it has fulfilled its promises as much as we thought they were going to.
Exactly.
I
think so. That's exactly right.
Because the promises that yoga was making were too freaking high as well.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to tell you the secret of life and shit like that.
Enlightenment, no? It's just yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? So that is going to take at least 2 or 3 years to get there. So that is more than the shelf life. That is barely the shelf life of a student. So by 3 years, then you can like fix yourself and stuff. So there has to be some kind of consciousness, revolution, change, shift. Because right now, the way that I see it, at least, is the system drives too much of our experience, right? The system came in and decided to certify yoga teachers. It has done a horrible job, obviously, because the certification that we have has provided no continuity. It has made yoga go worse, right?
Yeah.
We had yoga styles that has achieved to get so many people injured, have horrible reputations of the creators themselves, and has like got people out of yoga, like
right.
did not want to be there, right? So much of the yoga coming into the system has put people off yoga. And then what was the marvelous thing of yoga, I'm going to tell you all these wonderful things, that is the philosophy of life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little bit like the physical theory of effort, right? Because now I remember it was a bit older lady, and she was complaining, I have been doing yoga for 30 years. It was a very, very high number. And look at me, I have arthritis, I have this. She had a list of things that were not well with her body. The kind of yoga that she was doing was a kind that she never stressed either the muscle or the nervous system. And now in 2025, we know that you have to get your muscle to a level of exhaustion in order for the muscle to react, for the body to react. You have to start using your muscles, your joints, your mobility, your mobile and aspects in ranges and zones with consciousness and awareness of such a specific way, so the brain has a chance to create a mapping. You need a certain mental situation aspect, atmosphere to actually create those connections properly. And we know those things in 2025. And none of those things were met in a usual yoga class, right? When you came in and said, I want to do hard classes, like I want to do challenging peak poses. So you took actually the muscle to an exhaustion level. People, when they came out, they were in an exhaustion level. You did back bends, only having an hour and a half of only back bends. So you actually allowed the nervous system to have enough repetition to create mappings. Without, in a very intuitive manner, your style was actually meeting the requirements that we know now in 2025 you must meet for your physical practice to have any long-term effect in you. And on top of that, you're evolving your own style because that's what you do. You keep evolving. The same exact situation happens mentally. You come in with a mental problem, with an emotional problem, with some kind of non-physical problem, right? And you come in and say, I'm here in the yoga place, tribe, heal me, hold space for me, and I heal. Fuck no. unless you put the effort, your emotional effort, your mental effort. You work on your habits, on your belief system, on your behaviors, on your perspective in life. You work on that with an effort, you're going to stay the same. You're going to be in the exact same pool of unfriendliness, mental unfriendliness that you had when you walked in. So you walk in expecting somebody to fix you. They did not fix you. You walk out.
So that's bottom line. That's what you think that people were expecting from yoga.
They were expecting solutions for free.
Solutions to be healed, to be
some guru.
Like, yeah, to put the responsibility on. But isn't that the philosophy of yoga? I mean, just
that is how we took it in the West, no?
With a guru.
We don't know.
And you go and you. But in reality, also, we're not really following any guru either. Because, I mean, I challenge you to find somebody that will follow the same teacher for years. That is, I think, non-existent today. Yeah. Like, everybody...
Some styles.
You know, everybody people... drains from, you know, just from this. Even from the same, I don't know, you're doing Bikram or you're doing Ashtanga, or you're doing whatever style of yoga, you still kind of get from different teachers of that specific style.
Okay.
So it's not following that one person, right? And it's really rare to find that. In my experience, it's very, very difficult. Whereas when I started practicing, that was the normal thing to do. You just follow this person. You become a pupil, a student of this person, and you know
you stay years with that person.
You stay years with that person, literally years. And now it couldn't be any further from what's happening. So even if you're looking for that kind of salvation or that kind of help and healing from somebody, you're not staying enough to make that work, right? And it's like, okay, just give it time, because the body is a very adaptive process. I mean, it's just it happens very gradually, very slowly. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a few days, or sometimes in not even months or years, in a few years. So you need to just keep on going. But with all the inputs that we get from everywhere, it's almost impossible to stay consistent and just follow this one path. So I see what you're saying, but I also, one of the things that I'm seeing is that a lot of people don't put value so much on stretching anymore. And they don't want to just be limber or be flexible. It's becoming more and more archaic, more and more old-fashioned. You can sense that. I mean, people want to be strong. People want to have control over their joints.
Isn't that a good thing?
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
I mean, isn't that how we, the yogis...
We are refining the idea of that. But if the idea of yoga, if yoga is associated with just being flexible, or just sitting down and be flexible and just do flexible things and just be soft there or something, then it's not going to attract that crowd that is just, they want to get stronger and they want to have good control over their joints, their bodies, and they want to, have a different kind of body than before. So people are not pursuing so much flexibility, for example, anymore. They're pursuing a lot of strength, a lot of, different... those are different goals.
But people came into yoga for relaxation, no?
Yeah.
So those whole kind of like restorative or yin yoga or like very mild kind of yoga that were mostly flexibility.
That's interesting, but it's for those that come more for like the yin yoga or a little more mellow. Those people are they tend to be a little bit older. And it's not like the biggest crowd. The biggest crowd is a little bit more, a little bit younger, and just kind of in search of what is it that I should do now. it's rare to find someone young going for those kind of classes, you know. And like you're saying, and now, I mean, after studying stretching for so many years, and you know, that kind of stretching is going to improve your passive stretching, but not so much your active range of motion. So I mean, do you really want that to just be passively stretching? Okay, but actively you have no access to that degree or that level of flexibility. So I'm not sure it's that appealing at all. You know, it's that relevant. um, I don't know, like something like handstands is, for example,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is like, it's just the epitome of quintessential thing. Like, okay, you want to get strong and have great balance and have all of those things, and it kind of represents that. It's like the archetype of what feeling strong and just cool it feels today, right? um, it's people are much more pursuing that. And whenever I teach, like all the classes sells out the most and the fastest is always handstands. It is always handstands, and it doesn't matter where in the world you teach, it's always that, and to what crowd. And it's always handstands because people want to, you know, do handstands. They want to balance in the middle of the room. They just want to get stronger. They want to feel good in their bodies, and they love that. And I also think that there's other disciplines besides yoga that are, or there's a lot of disciplines that are getting in the yoga universe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you always say that yoga kind of
Accepts anything.
yeah
But I mean,
embraces.
but the people in yoga accepts anything, because I mean the
Yeah,
people that are already doing yoga, if any kind of other discipline comes in and think they can provide something to the world, they come on in, teach us whatever you have, right?
right.
But what has happened too is that people doing yoga are now, many of them, combining yoga with another discipline as well.
Right.
And some of them are saying, I'm done with yoga, I'm evolving to my other thing. But the question of, is yoga coming down, is, are less people coming through the door, like new people coming through the door than before, right? Because
You have to. I think if you what you have is like a traditional yoga studio, I think sooner or later you're gonna see that it is coming down. You have to evolve your message, whether that is repackage it and sell it more as a more like a strengthening practice, more like a holistic practice, more combining breath work and combining, or you can combine, you know, yoga with aerial yoga, right? And aerial some silks and aerial practices, or you can combine it with, like I said, with handstands or with some sort of mobility training or, you know, mobility program. Then maybe perhaps yes, it's going to attract, or the opposite, or just like more high intensity, that's, you know, with weights or biking, or you bike and then you do yoga as well, so just a lot of cardio as well in that. But it is just kind of blurring the lines more, and it's not a traditional yoga practice. That is, it's kind of changing very rapidly before our eyes, and pretty soon you will have to say this is a traditional yoga studio, this is what we do here.
and traditional means that they only do yoga.
Or they follow this lineage or this style or styles or whatever, and then, you know, other ones are just doing weights and yoga, or they doing all kinds of. But the line is just very blurry no matter what, because you can use a couple of ankle weights for for a couple of yoga poses and still follow tradition, you know, still make your class look at like it's traditional. You can. There was this one guy that did one of my trainings, and he was like, it's amazing because what I'm most fascinated by, remember,
They do.
what I'm most fascinated by you, by me, is that you don't do sun salutations and you don't do some poses that are just very quintessential yoga, and yet this class looks such a yoga class. It's a yoga practice. It's wow. What I'm blown away is how you do that. Like it's amazing. Like you mix all the things from all kinds of all arenas, like mobility training or this or some strengthening things or some rubber bands or whatever, and it still looks so much like we're doing yoga. I would never think that I'm not doing yoga with you. So it's very much in the eye of the beholder, but also in the teacher, how you present your class and how you present your message and how you present your sequence and what we're gonna do and your goals in the practice. So, but unless you have a very clear idea of what you want to teach and how you want to transmit it, then it can get diluted into and deformed into something that you maybe not intend that to happen,
Yeah.
Because I love to integrate things from other practices, etc. But it still feels like we are doing a yoga practice. It feels
how
like,
do you know how to do that? Do you know how you do that?
I don't know how.
I have a theory on that.
I don't know, but that doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
It's not important to the podcast.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that also because of the fact that there are so many other disciplines coming in, like contortion and circus training and handstands, and so it's like everybody is going into the yoga studio. So people that go to a yoga studio now, they have so many options and so many things, like, oh, I could also do calisthenics, and I can do one day a week I can do yoga, one day a week I'm going to do rock climbing or calisthenics, or I'm going to lift weights, or I'm going to do this. And so it all becomes like I have so many options, and I don't have to choose this or that. I don't have to choose yoga or other things. I have to choose handstands, or I can do everything if I want to. And so it's that is presented as another option. And the yoga business itself, it's not very robust, I think, in terms of how much money a regular yoga studio would make. So I wonder how that is going to affect yoga studios, because I mean, you as a yoga studio, it's really hard to make it to the end of the month, because the prices are fairly low compared to the expenses that you have. So I wonder, I mean, if you slash the frequency and the number of students that come, then I don't know, you have to reinvent yourself or just reinvent your offering somehow.
I agree.
The thing.
So I think that now because as you were talking, I think that yoga will always have a spot, because yoga can do something that I have not seen any other discipline do, which is affect the nervous system the way yoga affects the nervous system. When you finish a yoga class that has been intense, that you have worked on, that you have put some attention, intention, effort, etc., like you've done a good job, the teacher has done a good job, the sequence has done a good job. When you finish, you feel cleaner than with anything else you have ever done.
Probably yes, I would say.
Even if you, it's like going to a very strenuous kind of a gym activity, for example, it's usually within a range of comfort, and you do repetitions to get tired, right? Something that yoga does, if towards that flexibility, right, it gets you into an uncomfortable place.
Right.
The gift, the value of getting this nervous system, the body, into an uncomfortable place, it's invaluable, right? So as a owner of a studio, what you should do business-wise is what we have always said in our business classes. You need two things: what people want and what people need, right? You have to figure out, you have to keep an eye, a finger on the touch on the pulse of the world. Like, what do they want today? What problem are they trying to solve today? And of all the problems they're trying to solve today, which problem interests you? Right. Because some of them need emotional support and you give them a gong bath, and some of them want to get like strong and mobility, right? So you're gonna redefine how you do yoga and what kind of articulated kind of joint classes you're going to offer, or if you're going to offer just classes for handstands, or what do they want, what is going to get them in the door, right? But then you will offer them still yoga, because it has something that yoga is the hardest discipline of all. Of all disciplines that there are, no other discipline takes you to an uncomfortable place as yoga does. None of them. And at the end of that uncomfortable place, you feel cleaner than with any other discipline. However, if we were able, because we actually like to do that as yogis, if we were able to evolve the good things of yoga with all the information that we have from the other disciplines, this thing would be unbeatable. But it's going to require an effort, because that's something that we are learning today, right? If you want something, you must make an effort, which is not the same thing as the no pain, no gain. No, because we are even more clever than that today. We're saying make an effort with no pain in an intelligent manner, and you will get results.
Right.
So can we get yoga in yoga poses, etc., and be able, by the gift of some yoga teachers, to make it still look like a yoga class, or feel like a yoga class, right? Because it has value. But then use all the great things of yoga, because at the end of a yoga class you feel like nothing else. But can we incorporate the new information, right? And then we evolve yoga. We evolve yoga, because that's the good thing about yoga. You can bitch and moan, this is not tradition. This is not... Yoga and the Indian philosophy is designed to evolve. There's no other philosophy in the world that is designed like that. It is designed to let the next person that has something intelligent to say to come in and be incorporated to the Sanatana Dharma. You know what I mean? So whatever you can bring to the table that has value, yoga embraces it. Even in the West, that aspect of yoga has been able to come all the way here. They have not been able to kill that. It's amazing. Because that is part of the essence of yoga, that everything is valuable, right? So we are at a very interesting place, I think. The yoga, how we have been teaching it until now, with the teachers of 200-hour trainings and a certification of questionable value and lots of injuries from all kinds of places and only doing flexibility, I agree with you that it's not working. And to some extent, I'm very happy that it's not working anymore. Because I'm up to here with people saying, I have a great yoga class, my playlist is amazing.
That is like
that gets to my nerves.
The minority.
That I don't know why.
That is the absolute minority.
Great.
If
that
you
gets on my
only
nerves.
worry about your playlist, then
you get on my nerves. That's simple as that.
What?
You get on my nerves. It's as simple as that.
But if that is your priority, what does that say about your class? You know.
Exactly.
So
it's like, the playlist teachers need to evolve. Okay. And as a discipline, the beautiful thing is that we are prepared, ready. We love to go in and take the value of whatever is offered today and let yoga evolve. We have to do that. We have to learn from our mistakes. Why have we been injuring people? Why has passive flexibility injured so many people? Why? We know that why now. How do we adapt yoga into an active flexibility kind of discipline? Right? Until
that spreads out everywhere and people know about it.
It will take a couple of years for the tourists to come back.
It's gonna take a while. I don't think it's a couple of years, because there's already this idea of labels. So you're labeled as, you have yogi, someone in the lotus position.
I'm not flexible, I cannot do yoga.
Probably really skinny and like just very flexible, and so people that have that archetype.
You're thinking about me now.
Or the archetype in their minds of how they would look, and it's going to take a while to kind of break those molds and break those ideas of what people think that a yogi would look like, right? So it's going to take more than just a couple of months or some Instagram posts or something. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I think we're living in very interesting times, and just see how it really is evolving, and how even AI is going to play a role in the whole yoga world, and how is it going to get over, or sorry, substitute some of the teaching in yoga? Is it going to, where is it going to stop? Where is this going? Where are
That
we
is the
going
next
with that?
podcast.
Yeah, that is
We'll talk about AI.
something like more interesting for that. Let me see. I'm just looking at some of the things that
You wanted to chat about?
I wanted to chat about. I also think this is maybe perhaps my personal opinion. Practicing and doing, because we just get so many inputs and so much information from everywhere, and just we're always trying new things and new products and new advertisement and new commercials. So it's almost like we're used to that. So when we go to a yoga class, we're also expecting new poses and new things, and and there's only so many things. I mean, there's many thousands of things that you can do, but there's only so many things that you can actually do. And for example, the basics are the basics, and they are the basics for a reason, and you should always keep on practicing them. It's almost like the mindset doesn't help to stay consistent with one practice, because you always have to see this is all these poses, or all this warm up, or all this, and you want to try different things, and no, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do that, and it's just anything that is really worth it is going to take so much time and so much practice and so much dedication. Any post that you see somebody doing something pretty amazing has endless amount of hours behind that. Nobody sees that. I mean, the people watching that, and a few maybe will understand, yeah, that takes so much practice, so much dedication, but that person is practicing that constantly, non-stop. So if you are sort of a tourist, like you're saying, and you're expecting to get results, like I want to get handstands in 2 months, I want to touch my feet to my head in 6 months because I've seen this person doing it in 6 months, I want to do that, then, and if it doesn't happen, then people lose their motivation incredibly fast. I mean, it is the hardest thing to deal with and to negotiate, is those emotions and that energy from people that like, I don't know if I should keep doing this anymore. And you're like, okay, then just what can I do? I mean, it's just, if you don't have the smallest motivation inside you, I mean, the smallest, I cannot ignite a fire that has nothing, that's only ashes. I can only ignite, it's like a very small spark. I can really try to work with that. But if you don't even have the smallest one, then what are we doing
but
here?
The spark comes from a goal they have, right? Either they are
Yeah.
injured, they want to feel better, or they have a goal of, I want to accomplish this kind of performance,
Right.
of whatever kind, or look, or whatever that is, right? If they think or they see that yoga is moving them towards their goals, or by the end of the class they feel more strong or better or thinner, or I don't know, more flexible,
better in their bodies.
whatever, exactly. So what are the goals of today to some extent, right? And how do they match? How do they match with the yoga service or yoga value, yoga whatever? Because the interesting thing is that I thought that the world was getting crazier. I thought that the people would actually have more mental stress and stuff like that, and have more things to do, and they would need a break or something. And yoga was perfect. Meditation was perfect to give that break.
Yeah.
What I have seen is people just thrown into the tempest, right? So life got crazy, and instead of them trying to say, how do I find some calm in the craziness, they just allowed their lives to get that crazy. So people not coming to yoga because they have so much work now. That
Yeah.
has happened,
Yeah.
right? Instead of saying, I have so much work that I
Mhm.
need to make yoga a really a must
A
thing, a
priority.
priority every week, because otherwise I'm going to go freaking nuts.
Right.
I have not seen that yet. So maybe the world is getting crazy. It has got crazy, but it's not crazy enough. Because I will have said that 1,000 times when I used to do consulting. I loved to go to projects that were completely messed up. Completely messed up. They had no money, no time, no people. The customer was unhappy. As messed up as you could give me, that is what I love to walk into the most. Because that was the only time when I talked and I said something that was not obvious, acceptable, the usual way, somebody would listen. Somebody would sit down and say, nothing we've done so far has worked. So let me actually listen to what you are saying and see if it makes sense or not.
But that's probably because you were so crazy.
I have always been crazy. Always. So much.
So
And I always thought
in your
that
own world.
I always thought that the solution was a human solution, right? So the problem to now to the society is a human solution. We evolve as humans, right? And we are not doing anything about it. What we are doing is letting the crazy system take us with it. The system is getting nuts. Everything is so stressful. What is our solution? Just jump into the craziness and let it carry you.
No,
And you have lost,
instead of stopping.
instead of taking some ownership of your own time, mental process, whatever, right? And saying, how am I going to deal with this new reality? We have completely lost like self-sovereignty. It's like somebody else takes care of me. And then I complain, why am I so stressed? Why am I so... You're doing it to yourself.
So maybe that would be, because I also believe that everything comes in waves. So I mean, it's like the pendulum swings in one direction and then the other direction. So it's always like, okay, now we're going to, oh, there's just not that many people practicing, but soon enough, don't know when, but a few years, just like fashion comes back and trends come back, it's gonna come back again, and then you'll be like, oh my god, yoga, like you're saying, yoga has helped me so much to calm down and just, we live such a stressful life right now, all of us, that we need to disconnect, and then you give it another spin and yet it's another turn, but we're coming back to yoga, and then and so on, like going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth all the time. So it's not really like a spiral or going down and up. It's more like
a swing.
Yeah,
it's a swing or a circle or something.
Or kind of going back to the starting point again, right?
Yoga has things that no other discipline has, and
that
is going to save it.
And
that is going to save it.
I mean, the emphasis on the breath work, the meditation aspect of it, like, and how you are connecting to yourself, it's unmatched with.
We use the word holistic all the time. Holistic this, holistic that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more holistic than yoga. You come in and, for starters, it's a moral discipline. How you conduct your life. Like, you must be a nice person, right? And then take care of your body. And then take care of the energies coming in and out of your body through your breath. And then take care of your mental aspect. And then take care of so much of your life, right? And all the nutrition part, and you can actually take it in a yoga way or a non-yoga way, that part. So the words are there. It's just that the little way that we have implemented it, we have proven to ourselves that has not worked. Mm-hmm. Probably those people that have not worked, because the same tourists in students, we've had the same tourists in teachers. People that came in for a couple of years, they came out of who the hell knows where. Yeah. They had no business being there teaching yoga, to some of them, sorry, but had no fucking business teaching yoga, and they left. It's a good thing for everybody, for them, for the students, and for the yoga, right? And then the people that stay like you, as you guys that have committed to using this discipline and the wonderful things of this discipline, you are going to evolve it, yes or yes. Because you want to stay doing yoga, and you want to stay relevant, and you want to solve the problems that the human beings are going to have today and tomorrow. So you are going to evolve the discipline. Then X number of time, whatever, months, years from now, you will have a solution.
So is that the solution then? Because that was my last question for the podcast. Like,
Evolve.
What is
the solution?
The solution is
you, the teachers, evolving your styles.
If you own a studio and the attendance is going down, for example, or you're teaching classes and you're a teacher and you don't know why you are losing your students and what kind of marketing strategies you can do to kind of promote your business, that would be your advice then?
Solve a problem. So, what is the problem? Where is the pain? Solve a problem. I'm not saying the problem in the world. Pick one problem that actually means something to you, because it meant something to you in your life, that problem, right? It gave you pain and you learn from the pain. As much as we try to avoid pain, there's no better teacher. Better teacher than that, right? If you get an injury and you get an injury in your ribs, the part of the body that you know most about is the ribs. So fix a problem that is meaningful to you, but you have to fucking fix it. You cannot just walk around talking about it because you are still in the same problem 25 years later. Sorry, but no. You need to fix it. You need to find a solution for the rest of the humans. And then offer that solution. Do a good job, create proof, tell the world. Marketing 101. Simple as that, right? As a teacher, right? So pick your problem, solve your problem, tell the world how you're doing it. And with social media owner, we can do it now. As a studio owner, find the problem that people are trying to solve now, give them what they want to get them through the door, and then give them what they need once they are in the door.
So I guess the problem would be if you don't know what the solution is. Like if you don't know,
you have to search.
You have to
search.
Really search.
But that is the interesting thing about this. If you're doing the exact same thing every day, it's like, I am so fucking tired of doing the same thing every day. I'm gonna jump out of a fucking window, and that is a problem. But I don't know what to do. I have no idea. I cannot keep doing the same thing. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right. Yes.
Which one do you want?
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
You want the depression of doing the same shit every day? Or you want the fear of having to do something new? Choose fear or depression. Because the choice is very clear. The fear has a higher frequency than depression. Depression vibrates lower. So it's going to get you less answers. Fear vibrates higher. Anger vibrates even higher than fear. So if you're angry...
I love anger.
Exactly.
I love it so much. I don't care what you say.
If you're angry...
I don't care about the map of consciousness.
Exactly. No.
I just love anger so much.
David R. Hawkins 101.
It's my favorite.
Exactly. Your favorite emotion. Anger. But
of the lower ones, it's
the best one.
It's my favorite.
It's the best one.
It's the best one.
Anger is one click from going above the line. Because anger makes you solve a problem. You're angry with this situation, right?
Yeah.
If you can get that anger to do something for another human being, you just cross the line.
Damn it.
Now it's good. I don't want to do anything good.
And where am I right on top of that?
You're between anger and courage.
Courage. See, courage is okay.
Courage is above the line.
Yeah, it's okay.
But it's not as good as anger.
Cool. No.
Anger is better.
I like anger.
Ah.
I like it.
Yes. Exactly.
Courage. Fine.
Sissy. No.
Just don't care.
Doesn't
don't
sound
care
so
much.
Anger?
I love it.
Asshole.
Love
that sounds good.
Yes. Let's kill them all, right? And it's in that. But yeah.
Solve a problem.
Okay.
Solve a problem that gets you angry.
Good.
With this,
that
is a lot of energy.
It's a lot of
energy.
It's a lot of energy for sure. That was a very good wrap up to the podcast today. So thank you guys for listening. This is Carmen
and Moises,
and you listen to YogaBurn, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.